Hello internet, apologies if there is background noise. I've just turned on the air conditioning because it's really just hot and stuffy and humid in here despite it being a Sunday evening. So if there is background noise, sorry, but as you know, I don't put much effort into these videos. Right, this is everything. This is all of my trains. This is the Easterner, this is the 08, this is the HST, and this is the Flying Scotsman. Let's rattle through this then because it's late and I'm tired and I just want to get this video out. So, I brought some magnetic couplings, which is these things here. This is the packaging for them. These are the close ones. Excuse my dirty hands. These are the close ones. You get them three lengths. You get very close, close, and intermediate. Odd choice of words, but that's what they've gone with. And the close ones seem to mimic what Hornby does. I'm not worried if there's an extra millimetre or something of gap between carriages. That, in my view, is plenty close enough, and that works fine on second radius, and it works fine on third radius and fourth radius, which is all I have. So, and it seemed to pretty much match what Hornby had already. This is what they look like. So you can see here, it's basically just a magnet on a stick. So there's two here. So the left one should be on the train. Unfortunately, the train couplings are quite weak. The magnets actually overwhelm the trains on both of the HSTs. On the other trains, it's absolutely fine, and on the carriages, it's fine. It's literally just the two HST carriages. So I think I might do a little bit of hot glue in there just to kind of put them together and just hold them in there without it being super glued in. The 08 project to get the HST in there, like the HM7000, excuse me, not the HST, the HM7000 with the next 18 decoder sockets in there. Abandoned that because I took that apart again and immediately regretted it and realised there was definitely no space unless I take a Dremel to the thing, which I really didn't want to do. I'm just not brave enough to do it. I know it's possible, but that's just beyond my limit and I don't want to do that. So instead I brought my way out of the problem by... pretend that miss isn't there. This Hornby Select controller, which I hate using it, but legacy dongle controller goes into the back, goes to the ExpressNet port in the back, and that then adds to the HM7000 app. So you can have these trains on here, and then it has the has the legacy dongle on there, which then you just tell it, okay, well, this train with, I think this is number 8, or it's the number on the side, I can't remember. But you say, okay, this train with that ID, please load that in. You can have as many trains, well, a lot of trains assigned. So if pretend these were all just DCC only without the Bluetooth, that would actually then allow you to control all of your existing DCC trains on Bluetooth, which is pretty nice. I like that. So then I have this, which only cost a £5, so who cares? But I then had a spare HM7000 Next 18, which I haven't used. But then, and this ties in nicely with the last video, and thank you for the comments on that. My girlfriend is real. She does exist. The reason she's in the hobby is she just saw me researching it. We watch a lot of YouTube in the living room on our TV. So she saw me watching some Sam's Trains because it just came up one day and I was just kind of intrigued. I was like, oh yeah, model trains, that's kind of interesting. And that's, the YouTube algorithm got me into this hobby as a starter anyway, amongst other things, got me into this hobby. And she's quite arty. She makes clothes and stuff, and she makes them from patterns and things. She doesn't make them from scratch, but she's very good at it. So this is right up her street, actually. So like me, running the trains, I'm a very technical person, so setting up the trains and stuff is actually, that's in my comfort zone. Setting up the wiring and stuff like that, that's actually quite easy to me. But then doing the arty stuff is where I'm weaker at, and she's the other way around, so she'd be quite good at the arty stuff and doing, grass and mountains and tunnels and all sorts of things. So actually I had the spare HM7000 from this now abandoned project, so that came in useful because I brought her a Tiger today on the 00 scale, the new newish model from Hornby, fitting the HM7000 to it. Colossal pain in the arse because there is no space there in the cavity that they give you onto the train, and because the train's so bloody delicate, you don't want to grab it anywhere. You'll be very careful where you grab it to make sure you don't snap anything off. Once I got it in there and got some tape around it as well, because the original one came with tape on it on the blanking plate, so I figured I'd put my own tape on it. Even adding tape on it just kind of made it that little bit too wide. Anyway, once I finally got it in there, the wires between sort of the train and tender were really tight, and then the tender wouldn't turn correctly, and we didn't even try it. I knew it was just going to derail straight away, so I had to take it apart again, put it back together again. Oh, God, pain, absolute pain. But we managed to get it working. But weirdly, and this is kind of funny and quite topical, the HM7000 chip that was in there was coming up as a resettable device. not a device ready to pair. Now, bearing in mind, like I bought it for this train, but I never plugged it in. I didn't plug it into anything. I didn't wire it into anything. It had never been powered on. But it still came up as a resettable device. Did I get a second-hand device? Did I get a return? No, maybe, but the packaging was pristine. It didn't look like it had been touched. It all looked perfect to me, and I've got quite a few of these boxes now with the HM7000 chips in them. So actually, yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? I'm going to give benefit of the doubt and just assume it's some sort of weird glitch. But luckily I was able to use that silly little hack I've come up with and just reset it without talking to Hornby. That thing would not pair. Like, doing it normally, doing it legitimately, it just wouldn't do it. But using that little silly little hack I found to kind of reset it, it then put it into ready to pair mode. And even then that didn't work. It took a couple of goes and then it started working. Then I was able to pair it to the HM7, and even then it kind of, yeah, then I was able to pair it to the DCC app. HMDC, whatever it's called, the HM app, the Hornby app, on her phone, and it did work. It worked a treat after that, and there was no problems with it. It did ask for the software updates as well, so I guess it wasn't used, but it's weird. It was in that sort of I want to reset mode, isn't it? Very odd, but yeah, she's well made up with that HM. So excuse me, the Tiger. Very happy with that. I got a couple of carriages because I'm not made of money, so I got the train. I got a couple of carriages to go with it. I think she wants to buy a couple more herself. She actually wanted the Royal Mail carriage on the back, which I didn't think she'd like, but yeah, she wanted that as well. She's really into her Victorian stuff, and she gets sort of Victorian style clothes and like really old patterns and stuff and makes clothes out of it. Pretty cool thing. It's not my cup of tea, but it's pretty cool that she's so good at it, and you know, it's really neat actually. I quite like that. So yeah, having an Era 1 train in her collection. She's got a Mallard now. She's got a what was it called? She's got the Mallard, she's got the Tiger, she's got a little thing that she got from her dad, who just gave her a train. It's been sitting on the shelf for 20 odd years and smelt of carbon when it ran, which was quite funny. And she's got like a little sort of steam shunter thing. I forget what it's called now. But yeah, she's got one of those as well. So two of them are DCC now, and she's got these little DCC clips that you can get on the track. There's one there, for example, just next to there, that little clip clap there. So now she's got a similar setup to me now. She's got this DC going into it across the whole track. The whole track is energised, and she's away. And she's quite content with that, which is really good, really useful. I've just realised actually I'm missing clips on this one, aren't I? I guess the electric goes around enough, but yeah, I've just realised I'm missing the clips on there. Anyway, I might explain why that thing keeps stalling on it. Probably not, that's probably just coincidence. So I'm going to try and add another capacitor to that, because that does keep stalling on the point still, and it does stall on these ones. It's okay on that one most of the time, like 1 out of every, say, 20 times it'll stall there, and basically 50% of the time it'll stall on this one. So something to maybe, I'm going to see if I can get another capacitor in there, squeeze another one, and that might just then give it enough stay alive capacity to keep it going. What else is there to talk about? So yeah, that's the update on the girlfriend's layout. This is turning into a proper vlog thing, isn't it? Oh yeah, so fun fact actually, when this was running on DC, before I put that train on, because obviously that does need the proper DCC because it's not a HM7000 chip, everything's fine, and underneath here is the HM6010. It's just a little white box, which is the other way around, which does all the points on the Bluetooth. That's great. However, and that gets the power from the track. There's a little line that goes into the track, into there. That's all great, all fine, all happy, all great. But then when I made the whole track DCC, even though these trains worked quite happily on DCC from the Bluetooth, and obviously that then requires the actual DCC, which we use the little legacy dongle for, the HM6010 decided, I'm in dumb DCC mode now, and I will not talk to you on Bluetooth. This is not clear on the instructions. This, in my view, should not be how it works. It should be just like the trains, where you can say I want it on DCC or I want it on Bluetooth. Because if I was just going to get a DCC decoder for the points, I would just buy a bloody DCC decoder for the points, and probably for less money. Why? There needs to be an option in there somewhere, Hornby, in case you're watching, the very unlikely event you're watching, that the 6010, it does need something to say, hey, look, run on Bluetooth if you get in DCC. So at the moment, I'm going to grab this rectifier here, which is initially going to go in that train, but it's way too big. That turns AC into DC, which will then trick that thing into running into its DC. So I'll put this, so basically go track into the rectifier, then into there, and that should then make it go DC, and then make it go Bluetooth. Lovely. Okay, I've not spoken to Hornby about the HM7000 exploit thing. If someone wants to contact Hornby. I haven't got any contacts in Hornby. If someone wants to send them my way, perhaps link them to the other videos, one of the other videos with a timestamp. You know, watch this bit from this point here because Richard does waffle a lot. Then that might be useful. And if they want to contact me, they can leave a comment on the videos. I'll get an email and then we can just talk. And I'll tell them what it was. When you find out what it was, at some point this will come out, either from me or someone else. It will come out eventually, and it'll be so obvious and like, oh my god, how has this happened? Kind of thing. How is it so obvious? This is why I keep saying that Hornby, I'm pretty sure, are aware of it. So yeah, I'm kind of out of technicals now, aren't I? With this, I'm out of technical excuses now. I need to start doing the story of what this layout is. That's the advice I got from one of the previous videos. Thank you so much for that advice. What's the story of this layout? If you have this layout, pretend the track is done. Just pretend the track is done, and you could sit it in any way you like. I mean, obviously, I've got a table here, so it's either that's the front, which is probably what it is. That's going to be the front, or this is the front, but it's probably going to be that. I do want to use that building. I do want to use the station here as well because I brought them, so I want to use them. What would you do? Any ideas? Any inspiration? I've got a couple of little ideas in my head, but I don't want to go crazy and go the wrong way. This is where I get nervous. This is my weakness on this. And remember, my skill level is low. I'm new to this hobby. And it's going to be slow progress because at the most I get to spend like an hour or maybe 2 hours a week on this. Sometimes it's 0 hours a week. Sometimes it can be 3 or 4 hours in 1 week and then nothing for the rest of the month. So keeping all that in mind, that my skill level is low, and it's going to take a while, which is fine. I don't mind doing it, actually. I quite like to be able to switch off and do this hobby. Then stuff doesn't work and I've got to switch back on again and start thinking. But it's quite nice to just do something which is not my job and just something I can just kind of like. Making these buildings was an absolute laugh. I did a terrible job of them, to be frankly, but oh geez, yep, there goes the roof. Oh god, right, done a terrible job on these buildings, but I did enjoy making them. Perhaps I should have spent a bit more time on them. Never mind. Yeah, what would you do? Just give me some inspiration, guys. Just give me some help of what it is. And I think I want something which is a bit residential with these houses and something which is a bit industrial with those other buildings, and especially given we're going to have the station in here. That's going to kind of compress it a little bit. Maybe the station can go on this curve or it can go on there facing the wall, so that'd be the front instead. I was thinking maybe a road crossing there. Let me know what you think, guys. I'd appreciate some guidance on this because I'm a bit stuck. Right, this video is now 12.5 minutes long, so I think I've covered everything I want to cover. It's probably Monday by the time you see this, so hopefully your Monday wasn't too terrible if you're working. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.